in your own way, be a lion. And then we would say, and I am standing
Yes.
strong and tall. I am the bravest of them all. If on courage I must call, I just keep on trying and trying and trying. I'm a lion in my own way.
In my own way.
Lion.
I'm Autumn Brown, a queer science fiction writer, a theologian, a mother of dragons, and a healing justice facilitator for social movements living on Dakota and Anishinaabe land currently known as Minneapolis.
And I'm Adria Marie Brown, a writer, student of miracles and love, emergent strategist and pleasure activist, living in the land of the Lumbee peoples currently known as Durham.
And this is How to Survive the End of the World.
Our podcast about learning from apocalypse with grace, rigor, and curiosity. And we are well into our 5th season now. And if you've been paying attention and listening, you know that what we're doing this season is interviewing movement siblings, other people who, like Autumn and myself, were born into the same families and have somehow found their way into movement, into social justice or environmental justice work as the labor that they do in the world. And today we are so excited about the siblings we get to have on, one of whom you've actually heard on this podcast before. We have Malkia Devitt Cyril here, who is a media justice organizer, and I would say now an organizer in the realms of grief and community around grief and what it looks like to grab our transformation by the lapels. And so has been doing a lot of that as online and virtual organizing, in particular these past 3 years. And Sala, I think of you as a cultural organizer. I feel like you're the person who is bringing arts and music and culture and helping people understand their journey to Blackness. And I met Sala Cyril through Malkia, also in the journey of grief. So I think by the time I met you, Alana, Malkia's partner, was already in the process of facing cancer. And that's where you and I started to connect. So I think of y'all as these siblings who are helping all of us in movement understand how do we show up for each other and be family under the constant pressures and beautiful opportunities that grief gives us. So you're here, and we're so excited you're here. And we're ready to go wherever we need to go. And I just want to tell our listeners before we jump into this, it's been a big day. We're all coming in a little like maxed and excited and exhausted and stretched. And
One might say we're coming in hot.
We're coming in hot. We're coming in hot.
Might be coming in numb.
We might be coming in. I think of it as like we're coming in pandemic. Like we are coming in of these times. Mm-hmm. So let's take a deep breath. All right, let's take a deep breath, honoring all that. Because the great news inside of that is I'm not alone. I'm right here with y'all. We're not alone. We're right here with each other. And we're amongst the lucky humans on earth who get to have siblings to share all this with. Our analysis and rage and love and life, it's all here. And so we're going to shift into talking to y'all, interviewing y'all. And we want to know everything. We want to know everything about you. So we'll start simple. Where are y'all from?
Where we from?
Best die, do or die.
Hey, what is it? You know, where we grew up, we when in the '80s, we grew up between crack houses, and
Mm-hmm.
just Bed-Stuy was a different place than it is now. Now it's all coffee shops,
Oh my God.
vintage
Uh-huh.
clothing. You know what I'm saying?
Go
Tons of
cheese.
white
Artisanal.
I know.
folks.
Mm-hmm.
Artisanal. Everything's
Mm-hmm.
artisanal. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I'm saying? You
Mm-hmm.
know
Artisanal bed-stuy. Mm-hmm.
Yes.
exactly all that. All
Yeah.
Sheep
that. But
and
we not
cloth.
from that.
No.
We from a different Bed-Stuy. You know what I mean?
I don't think they
And
call this one Best I Do or Die.
Mm-hmm.
no, they call this like Bedford Stuyvesant.
No. Yes.
Or they might start calling it Clinton Hill.
Right.
Some other neighborhood that they've extended
Mm-hmm.
into,
Just a whole nother name.
into this piece. But I also wanted to say we also from
That's right.
Jamaica,
Yeah.
um, Trinidad.
Yeah.
You know, my sister's father from Venezuela. People's families from Venezuela.
Mm-hmm.
By way of Trinidad,
Mm-hmm.
and so we from the Caribbean too. That's another part of where we're from.
Beautiful. So, can you tell us a little bit about your family structure? Like family members you grew up with, if you have other siblings in the mix. Was it the two of you growing up? Oh, and one of the things that we've been really pleased to discover is the age difference between siblings when we're talking to them, which is often not what we think it is. So, anything you can tell us about like where you fall in the family, what your kind of family structure was that you came up in, how it might have changed over time, anything like that.
Yeah, so I need to tell that story first. Go ahead.
Oh,
Hmm.
okay. So I guess I'll start with M- Malkia and I are 2.5 years apart. Um, so that's my big sib, right?
Hey.
And
Hey.
yes, yes. And it was the two of us and our mama growing up. And I we have different fathers, but I never felt
Right.
that. Like it was like some people talk about, oh, my half sibling. Like that seems
That's
absurd to
crazy.
me.
What's half about it?
I would never.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't
You
know that.
know, we don't know them
No,
dudes.
that's not even something real to me. Right. Right.
Yeah, we did
Mm-hmm.
Our mama grew us.
exactly, and the
Uh-huh.
fact that we didn't engage with our fathers in any way, or rather, our fathers didn't really engage with us. Um, I
Word.
think also solidified that and because our mom
Hmm.
was so strong and so she was a unifying force in our family in a broad way, and in our family in a narrow and specific way. Like she brought us together, and she kept us together. She also brought a lot of other people together.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Our
I
family
love that.
structure has always been about chosen family,
That's right.
Mm.
right? It's
Mm-hmm.
always been like we had aunties and uncles that it took years for us to recognize that they were
I
not
didn't even
related to us
know
by
that
blood.
they weren't related to us until my mom. No, I knew they
Mm-mm,
weren't related to us, but I didn't understand that they were people that could
mm-hmm.
leave. Like when our mom
Yeah.
died
Uh-huh.
in 2005, our mom had sickle cell anemia. Her name was Janet Cyril
Mm-hmm.
Ashe. Um,
Ashe.
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 a lot of people kind of stepped away, in a way that I
Yeah.
didn't anticipate. You know what I mean? I
Mm.
didn't
Mm-hmm.
anticipate that losing our mom would also mean for me losing like a big portion of our family, um,
Mm.
Ah,
because
Yeah.
she was glue. She was glue for a lot of things, and a lot of people.
Wow.
got it.
Yeah.
Well, I love that she's here with us right now in the conversation, because she's her own force to be reckoned with, her own political force to
Absolutely.
be reckoned with. And I would love our next question, I think, gives some room to speak about who she was in the world. How would you describe the political orientation of your family or orientations?
How would you describe it,
Mm-hmm.
Salami?
The political orientation of our
Yeah.
family. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, our lineage comes from the Panther Party. Our mom was a co-founder of the Free Breakfast Program. I also
Mhm.
am here in New York, and
Wow.
I would also say though that like I, I think Malkia got the Little Red Book as a gift
When I
when
was
you were what,
born,
like
when
four,
I was
five?
born,
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
Mm.
yeah,
yeah.
Yeah.
Actually,
Yeah.
I think I don't know if it was Bashir. I think it was Kamal. I think it was Kamal that gave it to
mm-hmm,
me when I was born. Kamal Siddiqui is currently
mm-hmm,
serving a life sentence in prison in Georgia, for a crime he didn't commit. That's our uncle who used to live upstairs on the top
mm-hmm,
floor, of our brownstone.
yeah,
And that's how it was. You know what I mean? And that's kind of
yeah,
um, that's our mom brought brought politics into our life, but in an everyday way, not just by
Mhm.
rhetoric and whatever. We started out in the liberation school, of black.
yeah.
What was the child? What was the nursery called? We called it the nursery, but
Hanahan,
Hanahan,
Hanahan.
Hanahan,
Mm-hmm,
where black liberation was taught.
mm-hmm,
Child moved into Mind Power, I think it was called, which was like a
mm-hmm,
after school program that we
mm-hmm.
attended. Science Skill Center,
Yep,
which was another black
yep,
science program that my mom helped lead. She was on the board there. I
mm-hmm,
mean, everything we did, even when I started going to the Hedrick Martin Institute, my mom joined the board
mm-hmm.
there to
Yeah.
support gay, queer youth, queer and trans youth. Like
Yep,
anything we did,
Wow.
my mom's was right on it, participating,
yeah,
Mhm.
leading. So when you asked about the politics of our family, it's not even just politics. It's actually a full
no,
bodied way of living. That's.
yeah,
But I will say
Yes.
this: it was also non dogmatic. Wouldn't you say, Salah? Like
yes, yes, I
moms would be the
would.
one.
It's about the
Yeah,
people.
Jehovah's Witnesses knock on the door.
Yeah.
Everybody else hitting the floor.
Mm-hmm,
My mom's just opening the door,
mm-hmm,
chit chatting with
mm-hmm,
them. Asking
mm-hmm. So
questions.
long.
Meanwhile, she was an
Mm-hmm.
atheist. She was an atheist. She didn't have,
Mm.
but she loved. She was interested in religion, interested in physics,
Mm-hmm.
science. All of that. So it was like a full body high. You know what I'm saying? Like it touched all parts,
Wow.
all parts. You
Yeah,
know.
I love that.
yeah, and it stayed about the people and the the things that touched the people around us, right? We stay a full community of people with all kinds of
That's right.
circumstances, and each one that arose, it was like, okay, let's get on that. We are empowered. We are advocates for ourselves and our community. That issue is not yours alone. Let's
Let's
go.
go.
Mm.
My
So
mom was always about
yeah,
that. Let's go. She was in the
yeah,
street.
yep,
We was at the polls, organizing people, passing out
yep,
flyers. Trying to. Remember, we was always working for Roger Green. Was he an Assemblyman
yes,
Roger Green? I'm like,
always,
like I'm saying, she did all of it. She
yeah,
did everything.
Wow.
With sickle cell anemia, a debilitating blood
hmm
disorder. So that's
hmm
when politics don't even feel like the right word for me, if that makes sense.
it's like we went to Girl Scouts.
Yeah,
I'm for a lot
I
of our
want some
lives.
cookies,
And
man.
I didn't realize until later, right? Some Girl Scout cookies, yes. We sold them, we
I
did
did
it.
it.
I didn't realize until later how patriotic and connected to the military it
Didn't
was
know.
in the
Yep,
church. I had no idea because that's not the lens that our mom even allowed to move
that's
through
right.
us. She was like, yes,
Uh-huh.
yes, community service.
Exactly,
Yes, be with your
exactly.
people. The rest of it don't even work
That's
with you.
right.
I didn't even
That's
know.
right. My mom, look, our mom worked in the prisons while she was banned from the
Hmm.
prisons. Feel it. She
What?
was banned.
Can
She
you
couldn't.
can you
She
back
couldn't
up and tell the
enter.
story?
She was because of
Yeah.
Wait,
her
what?
past work as a Panther. She was banned
Yeah.
from entering the prisons for a period of time, and yet she worked at
Mm.
LaGuardia Community College, which had the contract, and in a particular program that had the contract to provide educational services to all inmates in New York City. Is that right?
In the city.
and
Yeah.
so and, and
Yes.
so she ran that program, provided that service
Hmm.
all while being
Yeah.
banned, and
Project Enable.
Project Enable, and then transformed her
Hmm.
relationship. She finally was
Wow.
able to go in, and I remember, how I know
Hmm.
she was able to go in, because as soon as she was able to go in, she had me go there and do workshops, writing workshops with
Hmm.
people.
Wow.
Remember
Yeah.
Salah?
Wow.
That's how I got there
Remember
too.
Salah
Yeah.
being young, being real young, 9, 10, and correcting papers for mommy at the job,
Yes.
and realizing by
Yes.
going to the job that she hired all kind of Black Panthers. Okay? Because that's the
Hmm.
point, is it wasn't about the politics, was driving a level of service that I've never seen. I've never seen that, except in one person. There's only one person that I've seen replicate mommy's level of service, and that's Salah.
Oh,
Mm.
okay.
It's
Oh.
true. It's facts.
I'll take it.
Mm.
I'll
I
take it.
love that.
Thank
Let's just take a moment and let that in.
you. Mm, mm.
It's just
That's
true.
beautiful.
That is beautiful.
Mm.
I didn't know who you was gonna
Oh,
say.
Mm.
well, look,
We
I was
were
like, who is it?
I'm gonna
all
Who's the
tell
good
on
y'all
the
one?
edge
about
of our
my sister in
seats.
a minute, though. And when we get to that, I'm gonna
No.
tell you about
Okay. Okay.
how she doing.
I'm so excited.
Mm,
But before we get there,
mm,
so yeah, so really hearing that for you both, even kind of attaching the word politics or politicization to it doesn't quite capture what it was like to literally just be like raised in it, and raised by someone who
Yeah.
was clearly just like such a force of love and
mm-hmm.
justice, like just through her body, right? Um, and there are people who might be raised in a family like that by a person like that and still find something else that they're going to go off and do, right? Maybe sometimes even as like a rejection of justice work or a radical politic, right? And there's a point, right, where you make a choice to step in, right, of your own accord to step into the work. So one of the questions that we're curious about is how that moment came about for each of you. The moment where you picked up the mantle, if you will, right, of saying yes, I'm. This is the life's work that I want to be in as well.
Well, okay. So I will say that I appreciate you recognizing that sometimes there's rejection. I definitely had a period of rejection. I was like, you can't make me, stop all that.
Mm-hmm.
Why you trying to make me be like y'all? And I say y'all, it was Malkia and our mama that was just like, yes, 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 you know, all black, everything, power to the people, make everything change. I was like, can't I just, I wanted to sing and dance and, just not
Right.
think about it. And I was
Yeah.
bad. I
Mm.
was bad. I was running them streets for
Yes.
a minute.
Okay.
Um, and but that rejection didn't last
Mm-hmm.
long. At the time it felt so long, but um, at the point where I had my daughter, I was like,
Ah.
oh, I need this world to be different.
Mm.
No, stop it, stop, stop it, world. What y'all doing? And all of the things that I was raised with, and they came back. Not only did they come back, but I tried to enroll my daughter in Girl Scouts. I went to the thing and I was like, oh no, that's not what.
Yeah.
How did we do that? How did that happen? And so I found the Malcolm X grassroots movement and their new African Scouts,
Mm.
and I
Mm.
was like, oh, that's what I'm looking
Right.
for,
Yeah.
right? And so
Yes.
there's like it was directly centered around. It was like the world the my world opened up again
That's
to
right.
to the political life because I wanted the world to be different for my daughter. I saw it through
That's
different
right.
eyes. My lens
Mm.
Yeah.
changed, and it didn't stop with her, but it opened with her.
Mm-hmm.
Beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Yeah.
I mean, and that's the thing. It's like I found that, when what Salah found a kind of black internationalism and black nationalism that was
mhm,
broad, that was that actually organized, not like through campaigns. That's not what I mean per se, but like actually dealt with people, you know,
Yeah.
organized a black radical vanguard, of folks, but did survival training, you know,
Yeah.
um,
Mm.
gardening, you know what I'm saying? And not gardening,
Mm-hmm.
I mean like radical food production,
Mm-hmm.
you know what I'm saying? All kinds of stuff that was actually part of our liberation. But for many of the
Yeah.
nonprofit
Yes.
organizations I had worked with, they were so disconnected from that,
Yeah.
But I'll
Mm.
tell you the moment of my great politicization, okay? Because I remember it well, even though you
Mm.
could say that we learned to read sitting on my mother's lap at Liberation Bookstore in Harlem, So there's
That's
not
right.
really one moment, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But I
Right.
remember that
Right.
I was a writer, my mom always encouraged my writing. And when I was about, I don't know, 15. I had already come out as queer. I came out when I was around 12 and a half, 13. My
Mm-hmm.
mom took me to the Black Writers Conference at Medgar Evers because she says, if you want to be a
Mm-hmm.
writer, you need to get involved with Black writers. And they were having an open mic, and, it was a panel, Black women writers. So Paula Gidding was on the panel, Barbara Smith was on the panel, a bunch of other people,
Mm-hmm.
and Barbara Smith was talking about being a black lesbian writer. So my mom said, go to the mic and tell them you're a lesbian. Except she didn't say a lesbian because my mom had the tendency to just say, tell them you're a lesbian. I'm like, can't you put an A in front
Yes.
of that? It'd be
Mm-mm.
like a homosexual, but a lesbian. You are a
Mm-hmm.
lesbian. I'm like, okay, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, so
Mm-hmm.
she also had this
Love
habit of
it.
saying gaily forward, like she really wanted to, emphasis.
She wanted
She
people to use
wanted people
that.
to
Yeah.
use gaily forward instead of going straight.
Mm-hmm.
I said, okay, you're doing too
Mm-hmm.
much. But anyway,
I it's not too late. It is
Mm-hmm.
not too
I
late
She
for
know.
really
that
wanted it to
one.
really
catch
wanted
It
to
on.
might be
catch
this
on.
year that it catches on.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
We're gonna
definitely
promote it.
moving
All
gaily
right,
forward from
good.
here out.
Mm-hmm.
And so
Mm-hmm.
so I didn't want to go
It's
to the
done.
mic because I'm like, I don't, I'm not here for that. I don't want to talk to all these people. And so she said, you
Oh,
going to,
please.
she
She
wasn't
wasn't
here
here
for
for
that. She
that
was like, you
either.
going to the mic. Took me by my shirt,
Mm-hmm.
kind of like pulled me, gently in quotes towards the mic, you know.
Dragged
Yeah,
me
dragged me to the
gently.
mic and then was like said in this extremely loud whisper, tell them you're a lesbian or whatever. Like, well, you already told them, so I don't need to tell them. But she said, say my
Wow.
name. She whispered, say my name is Malkia Cyril, and I'm a lesbian and I'm a black writer. Just tell them. And so I did that, and that resulted in Barbara Smith and I connecting. It resulted in me being introduced to Audre Lorde. It resulted in Audre Lorde becoming a
Wow.
mentor of mine. It resulted in me writing a
Mm-hmm.
chapbook, my first chapbook that was published by Kitchen Table Press. And it resulted in me
Mm-hmm.
taking that chapbook, which my mom bought 1,000 copies of. She said, go to Restoration Plaza in Brooklyn and sell your chapbook. And so I did. I sold it for $1 a
With the
piece with a
shopping
shopping
cart.
cart. And I sold it for my sister came with me, and we would sing and try to get people to give us money, and
Mm-hmm.
here's a here's a book, and all of that, right? I got the money. I got about $1,000. I was excited. I'd never had
Wow.
seen so much money. Maybe it wasn't quite 1,000. Maybe it was 800, but it was a lot of money. And I was so happy. And I was like
Uh,
thinking of what I could buy. I wanted some new sneakers. I wanted something name brand because
Nope.
moms didn't believe in name brands.
No.
And so I wanted a name
Mm-hmm.
brand something, a shirt, something, so that I could be cool because I wasn't cool at all. And no,
Yes,
I
you
wasn't.
was.
I wasn't, but that's okay. I.
I know you wasn't. I forgot.
My sister,
You
my
was cool to
sister
me.
was cool. I was not the cool. I was very nerdy. But the point is, I had my money. My mom said,
mm,
"Let me get that money." I was like, "It's my money." We had a big old fight about it, and she took the money from me, and she was like, "Let me explain something to you," because she basically was like, "We're gonna donate this to the women's shelter." And I was very
Mhm.
angry. I did not want to donate it to the women's shelter. I did not want that. I wanted to buy a shirt, or some sneakers. And
Oh God.
she
I love you
said,
so
listen to
much.
me. She said, listen to me. You have a
Mm,
gift. And when you have a gift, the point is to give it, you know? That's the point. And so that I would say is the
Yeah.
moment that my understanding of my politics changed. Before that, it was more rhetorical. It was more following in my mother's footsteps. It wasn't mine; it was
Right.
hers.
yeah,
But after that,
Mhm.
yeah.
somehow my thought changed around it. It's a
Mm.
gift, and not it's my job to give it. That's the whole point.
Mhm.
Hmm.
So that's my moment.
Oh my goodness. I love that. I feel like people are going to be listening to this with their minds just going, like that is such a huge offer. I think the people who come on this show have gifts. I think the people who listen to this show have gifts. And a lot of what we're always trying to figure out is, I was just talking to Autumn about this, where it's like capitalism makes us feel like we have to compete
Mhm.
and put a value on every single thing that
It's
we
so
do and make
true.
it all work,
Yeah.
and it
Right.
all has to be labor, and it just has to be.
Yeah.
And we
And
all
I
have to be
feel like the
compensated for
opposite
our
of
labor.
capitalism
Mhm. Mhm.
constantly, right? We're always like, fuck you, pay me,
Mhm.
which, I
Mhm.
get. And I think that post capitalist thing, when it gets deep into your heart, is like, it's all community, it's all pleasure, it's all love, it's all connection,
It's
and it's
priceless.
priceless.
Mhm.
And it is something you just have to give. And I love the politic of that as it shows up in both of you. That it's like, oh, my daughter opened the way for me to recognize like that generosity and that community was the way. And this poetic gift. I love it. And I love, I mean, like, loved, like, I can't wait till they make the movie about y'all. The image of y'all standing
Seriously.
on the street corner singing
We
with the
always used to
shopping
sing
cart
on the
of
corner.
chat bugs. Like, it's just
It's true.
so good.
Mm.
I love that. Almost every memory I have of y'all involves songs. So it's just like, of course. So the next question, there is so much deep alignment between the two of you. It shows up in every way. So I wanted to hear, and we wanted to hear in terms of like what you do in the world, what you produce, what you create, what you think, what you right generate and build, what feels aligned about the work that you're both doing in the world right now, and what feels distinct, what feels different, what feels like, oh, you do, no, Salah does that, and I am over here doing this,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
Yeah, tease all that out for us a little bit.
What you think?
Um, yeah. You keep having me go first.
I
I'm getting
know
off
that's why
topic.
you're going first.
Um,
That's exactly why you got to go first.
That is
That's it.
you have the gift
why.
of gab. Um, you know, I I think that I feel alignment on. I think we're aligned politically on all things. I don't think that we are
That's right.
misaligned in
That's
any
right.
way. I think that when it
Yeah.
comes to whatever we are working on, I'll say I can't say we. I know when I'm working on something, I'll be like, "Yo, Nakia, can we talk about this?"
Same.
Mm.
Right?
Yep.
Yes.
But we
Because
do talk about
I,
everything, though. I would say pretty
we
much
do
everything.
talk about everything. Yeah, yeah, we talk
Mm.
about everything. This is my bestie, right?
Bestie.
Yes.
And bestie. And so when it
Look,
comes to,
sibling
yeah,
besties.
yeah, sibling besties. And so when it comes to um what what's distinct, I'll say that we have different avenues of work, right?
Yeah.
And but I think the same politics come through,
Mm.
right? And so I would
Yeah.
say that um, I think I so for years, Malkia ran the name of it now, the Center for Media Justice, but
Media justice now.
what's the
Yeah.
name of it? Miss Media. It's just Media
Hmm.
Justice now. right? It's gone through a few names. I just want to make sure
Right.
I got it right. And so the media justice world is Malkia's like playground, right? I don't oftentimes I'm like, I don't even know enough about that. And the things I do know, I probably know through you, Malkia, right? Um, and but that's only one. That's like a work
And let's be
area, right?
clear.
There's
Let's
like,
be clear. I worked on media justice, but when it was came time to do congressional visits, my sister came and did a
right,
congressional visit about the issues that I was. So even where we work in different spaces,
yeah,
Uh-huh.
we're still
yep. We
Hmm.
just
part
connected.
of the work together. We always
Yeah,
do, work together. And I'm gonna tell you this:
yep.
my sister is a child whisperer, okay, and she ran this school called Little Maroons for a long time. A little
Hmm.
what I always want to call it a nursery school, but that's not what it is. It's a preschool.
We call it a
A
preschool.
preschool,
Yes,
for the
a cooperative
children,
preschool.
and focused on Black liberation, educating the Black child, and that meant
Hmm.
multiracial children and stuff like that too. But like the point is that um, there's very few, Black preschools that also incorporate the arts and incorporate, what is that called? The sensory garden in the backyard. Like,
Yes,
I
yes.
mean, if you understand Brooklyn, you know that there's rats and stuff, all that. But you know what? I'm
Stop
just
it.
keeping it 100, and it's
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 true.
mad rats. But my sister still braved the rats. No, I don't know if she braved the rats, but the point is that despite all that,
They
she
weren't.
went out in the back and built a whole sensory garden, and the
Hmm.
children could go back there and touch flower, different, things. And my point is that my sister's work is full bodied in a way that mine is not. Okay. Like my work is often quite intellectual in my head, Um, we both at the protest, we both in that, but I did campaigns. You know what I mean? I did organizing campaigns, I did national strategy, I did that. My sister took care of children, taught children, educated. She was an educator like our mom, my sister is a survivalist. She runs Camp Pumzico every year, teaching Black children, older Black children, survival techniques. They march, they chant, they go on these survival hikes and all that type stuff. I can't do none of that. Matter of fact, when people I have this dream of going camping, but then every time I try to make it a reality, I'm like, I hate this. This
Hmm.
sucks. So this, when it comes time for the
For sure.
apocalypse, I'm definitely gonna find my sister so that I can be saved. You know what I mean? Like that. But that's how it is. That's where I see the distinction. It's like full bodied versus
Yes.
kind of like a very different approach to change.
What I think is interesting though is because like right now, so I've moved from childcare, like from
That's right.
education in
Hmm.
that way to security, although I've been doing security for years. And I think that both of us like have that as actually the foundation of it all.
Yes,
Right. So even
that's
teaching the
right.
children, all the survivalists, like all of that, and that came from my
That's right.
mom. That came from the
That
from
came from the
you
breakfast
know,
program.
it came from the free
you
breakfast
know,
program. You know, yeah, and it struck me earlier, Autumn, when you were talking about being angry, but couldn't really say most of the things that you were angry about. Like there's a part of this like security world that we live in at growing up, specifically like as movement children, that makes us um, have to be a little bit more hyper
that's right.
vigilant,
A
Yes.
little
right,
bit.
about
Mhm.
everything.
A
I'm trying to
lot.
keep it cool
That's
for
right.
people. Come on.
A lot. Can I just tell you,
And
my,
so,
my we so hyper
yeah.
vigilant. One time I went to see when Malcolm X that movie came out with, and I went to see it with mommy. I don't know if you remember, and I
Mm,
said something
I
about the
do.
president need to be, yeah, fuck the
Mhm,
president. They should kill the president. Something like that. Something
mhm.
crazy. My mom slapped the shit out of me, and she didn't slap in the face. That
Yeah.
wasn't her thing. But she was
No.
like, you can't say stuff like that. Like
Oh yeah.
you tripping.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? That is not
Mm,
what
Yeah.
you say. You need to.
We don't
We
bring
don't
that
bring it.
here.
right.
We don't want
Don't
that
bring that
smoke
energy on.
unless you actually prepared to
Hmm.
really do something. That's a different issue. But
Hmm.
you just talking? No.
Hmm.
Mm.
Hmm.
Hmm.
But you were saying
Yeah.
about
Wow.
security though, like what
Yeah,
hypervigilance.
no, I was just going to say so that the hypervigilance, I think, makes us like, I think it's part of what actually made you good at the media justice,
That's
right?
Mm-hmm.
right.
It's part of what
Uh-huh.
made me good at even working with children, like having my eye on them,
Yeah.
right? And then, through the Malcolm X grassroots movement, I've been the local security
That's
coordinator for
right.
years, for like 10
That's
years or
right.
something like that. I just started working with Vision Change Win. I'm the new community safety
Yes.
director.
Oh,
You
Yeah.
know,
yay!
like that's kind of my
Congratulations.
That's
thing.
right.
Yes.
That's
Thank
right.
you so
That's right.
much. Um,
Hmm.
but like security is, it's like part of our
Yeah.
being. It's
Absolutely.
part of our
Mm-hmm.
how we vibrate.
That's right.
And so, and it's due to like that hypervigilance.
And
That's where it's
all of
useful
it,
to.
is security. I mean,
Hmm.
support,
All of
but
it is every drop.
education and
Hmm.
communications are two sides of one coin,
Hmm.
and they both are about increasing the safety and security of our people because the controlling the narratives and controlling the infrastructure of narrative to me is all of it. You have to do it because it's so dangerous not to. You know what I mean? Not to deal with those arenas, and that's it's an attempt to bring security and a culture of security to our folks and to our people, and it all
I would
stems
say
from
the
that.
same. Yeah, I would say the same thing about even
Yeah,
teaching about the food and
exactly.
the,
That's
in the
right.
garden.
All of
To
it.
me, that's about
That's right.
All of it.
survival.
That's
You
right.
know,
Yes.
so and survival is security. Security is survival. Let's
Let's
keep it.
keep it
Let's keep
tight.
it
Let's
Right.
tight.
keep. One
Right.
time we was on a cruise. After I think it was. I don't remember if it was with my mom. Was it with mommy or
I
after
think
she
that no, the
died?
first one was with her.
With
Yeah,
mommy,
yeah.
and she she couldn't walk and she couldn't fly, so we said a cruise, maybe a cruise.
Hmm.
And I was standing on the boat and it was nighttime and I was looking out and all I could see was the vast Black Sea, and I became paralyzed. Like I felt like I could not take another step. Like I just knew I could see the tsunami coming, or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, oh my God, we about to be stranded out here in the black night in the middle of the ocean.
Mm-mm.
We all gonna die today. And I told my sister how I felt, and she said, that's funny because I feel like even if there was a tsunami, even if we got stranded out here, I would survive.
Hmm.
And I always remember that because it is such a different orientation, and I think it's a two different responses to trauma.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, one is to take it to the next level. My sister's a vegan.
Hmm.
My sister is straight edge.
Hmm.
Let me tell you something. My sister controls what
Hmm.
is going on in her life. Okay,
Hmm.
I am
Mm.
chaos. I am, just whatever. But and creative whirlwind, right? Of
Hmm.
whatever, of
Yeah.
ideas and things like that. Um, uh, um, you know, but they're related. You understand what
Yeah.
I'm saying? Those
Directly.
Yes. Yes.
responses
Yes.
are
Yes.
related,
Directly.
and that's why I'm gonna find my sister
Hmm.
when the apocalypse comes. I'm gonna get my walker. I might have to walk to New York. I don't know what's gonna happen. Maybe we
Right.
can meet in the middle.
Yeah.
It'll take me a lot longer than it'll take her
Yeah.
because she's about that life.
We'll meet in the middle. Well, we'll
We'll
meet
have
three
to meet
quarters of the
some.
way. Let's make it right.
Exactly.
Three
You're
quarters
gonna
of the
have to
way.
come a
I'll
little
be
Oh
right
yeah,
the
closer
I'll
to
come
way.
closer
me.
to you.
Hmm. Hmm.
Hmm.
I love
But
it.
I got my walker though, so I'm ready
Hmm.
to go.
Hmm.
This is like a perfect segue into the last question we had for y'all for the interview portion, which is, what is something that you think the world should know about your sibling?
Oh snap!
Oh,
Oh snap!
okay.
Or it could be something you wish people knew or understood about your sibling.
I'm gonna tell you what I wish
All right.
that people knew. My sister is um has the kind of loyalty that is extraordinarily rare, and not just to people, not just to friends, because she has loyalty to her true friends, loyalty. But also, and to me, loyalty, but also to movement. My sister is loyal
Mm.
to the movement,
Yeah.
no matter what the movement do. Just like our mom was loyal to the movement,
Yeah.
no matter what it do, no matter how it hurts. My sister is a loyal. I mean, let me tell you, because MXGM is not a staffed nonprofit.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, everybody there is a volunteer,
Mm-hmm.
and if you understood that, I have to talk to my sister at like 1 o'clock in the morning Eastern time because she be in meetings.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and the meetings
Yeah.
half the time are related to her paid job, but
Mm-hmm.
half the time are not. They're
Mm-hmm.
about all the other things she's doing.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Meetings, meetings, meetings. And I'm like, that's loyalty.
Yeah.
That's loyalty to the movement in a way that I
Yeah.
think is extremely rare these days. So that's one thing I think people should know about my sister.
Wow. Well, thank you.
Thank you.
I'm trying to think of the things that at least one thing that I think the world should know about you. What do people need to know?
I don't
And,
know.
I think that I'm trying to decide because I feel like you're, I won't say you're an open book, but the world knows about you. So what do they
I'm
not
pretty
know?
open.
What do they not know already that I could share? And
Mhm.
um, I think that they don't know how, no, they know that too, but I'll say it. They don't know how sensitive you are. And I think that the world
Mm.
could benefit, like the people could benefit from understanding that a lot of what you do, a lot of the work that you do, a lot of the love that you give comes from the sensitivity, like a beautiful level of sensitivity that's like, um, it's disarming sometimes, it's
Mm.
really, and it doesn't always look like what you might think sensitivity looks like, but it's about really feeling this world,
Mm.
really feeling this world and wanting to be safe in it, you know
Yeah.
and so that, I think, that that drives the compassion that you see, that drives the work that you see, that drives everything. It's just like this deep, beautiful level of
Mm.
sensitivity. I, you
I'm
know,
sensitive.
I
Mm.
like it.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
Hmm.
Wow. Y'all are such a beautiful interview.
Can I add something though? I think
Yes.
everybody knows this too, but my sibling is brilliant.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, everybody
Woof
knows that
woof.
too, but
I mean,
you know,
yeah.
brilliant. One of the
You can never say it
most
enough,
brilliant
I don't
people.
think.
Not one of it. The most brilliant person I know. So
So
that's it.
crazy.
Hmm. Hmm.
Y'all, this is very satisfying. Thank you so
Thank
much for
you. I
letting
love
us
talking about my sister.
know and tell
Yeah,
you
this is
more.
so
Yeah.
good.
Yeah, I
Aww.
mean, it's really been the most delightful process getting to have these kind of conversations because it's just like, like there's so much
Yes.
tenderness, and there
Yeah.
was so much tenderness here today, and we want to just into that tenderness bring our pop cultural artifacts, right,
Hmm.
and just be like, what it evokes tenderness, what evokes laughter, what is something that allows us to relax, what are things that we think people need to know about, need to immerse themselves in, would benefit from. So anybody have something that's like, oh, I got it.
Okay, I'm gonna go first
Oh, yes.
because mine is listeners will be so familiar with this pattern by now that I am forever like I am always discovering something, a good 6 to 10 years after it came out. And and like I might have known about it. But it takes me years oftentimes to come around to the like, wow, this is so good.
The thing you
And
all
I knew
loved
that
back
this
then, I love it.
Hmm.
I
Hmm.
and
Yeah.
and this I knew what was gonna happen for me. Y'all are gonna laugh at me so hard for
I
this,
love
but
it. I want to laugh at you.
I just started watching How to Get Away with Murder.
Oh.
Autumn.
Hey, hey, I'm glad
OMG.
you.
Okay.
You know what? But
Look.
come and
Okay.
talk to me. come and talk to me when you get to. By the time you get to season 2, I want to know how you feel about it.
Yeah,
at
me
that
too.
point.
Exactly.
Yes.
I yes, and I know I'm gonna need some support through the process, so I will definitely reach out to you. I'm just nearing the end of season 1, and I'm and I've seen other Shonda Rhimes
I'm like, Shonda Rhimes
shows,
put it down.
so
Okay.
exactly. So I'm familiar with her model of storytelling and all of the wild alliances that the alliance breaks down, alliance breaks down, alliance breaks down. So I'm here for the roller coaster ride. I am having a really hard time just believing the core marital relationship at the center of the story in season 1. It's hard. It's hard. It's hard. My brain is like, I can't.
You'll understand more as it gets further in.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
It'll work for you.
Anyway, so that's my top culture. Viola Davis just being incredible.
Always.
So yeah, finally catching up to the party as per usual. That's my top culture.
Wow.
Hey.
Well, I'm really happy about that. I don't know that I ever shared this with our listeners, but it wasn't until the pandemic that I actually watched Grey's Anatomy. And then I went in. I know.
I've never seen that either.
Can I tell you, there's so much of it. And you know me, when I dive into a show, I watch it to completion. And I think I'm like 8 seasons in, and I feel like we're just exactly. I'm like, oh, this is. I mean, it's wonderful if you're someone like me who's just like, just keep it coming.
Yes.
So yeah, but Shonda,
that hospital should not be accredited. I'm just saying.
No,
There's too much that goes on.
I definitely feel like everything about going to the doctor had changed since I started watching that show. Right? Where I was like, oh, like
is somebody having sex in the closet?
Exactly. I was like, y'all are not maybe all focused on just me and my health.
Right.
And
planes crashing into the building, whatever. I don't
everything.
know.
No. So, but mine is actually there's a new Marvel movie out called Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. I want to see it.
I trained you. So the most dangerous people in the world couldn't kill you. Son, it's time for you to take your place by my side. You better watch out, 'cause it's my time.
And I went to see it last week at the drive-in theater as a double date. And then Nala and I went to see it, and we were like, we have to see this. We were like the drive-in theater radio situation. My little car, I have my new electric car. But we couldn't figure out how to do the radio thing, so it just kept going off. We were like, we need to see this again with like right lights and whatever. So we went to see it at the IMAX theater. It is I think it might be the best Marvel movie. It is so deeply satisfying.
That's what I heard.
It is so gorgeous. The storyline is exactly what we need to like be immersed in right now. Like it's like trauma and nature and beauty and yes,
that's a strong statement.
I did say
I know, that's what I was reacting to. I'm like,
and Nala and I checked in. We were like, I think this might be, if not best, then my favorite. So
okay.
And as a Virgo, I don't really make distinctions between those two things. Yeah. So I'm like, clearly, if it's my favorite, then so I want to really tell people, like, if you're, I mean, it's just go be prepared to gasp. Like I gasped with pleasure watching the fight sequences, and just the way the thing plays out is unbelievable. It's so gorgeous. All right. Okay, that's mine. What y'all got?
Yeah. Wow. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
I have been I binge watched, period. I just binge watched various things. And I am currently binge watching Supergirl.
Don't say it out loud. You said it out loud.
I said it out loud. Everybody. I told the truth. I mean, I was doing Anna Green Gables. Like that's how desperate. I went to Anna Green Gables. You know what I mean?
Anne with the knee.
Remember that book? Yeah, Anne with the knee. Anne with the knee. I have no discernment at this point.
Yeah.
I'm just like,
Is it
if
television?
there's,
Yeah.
and also like, is there somebody, I love this whole thing where people are complex. I love
Yes.
any show that demonstrates the complexity of humans, like
Yes.
of people
Yes.
rather. And like this whole thing about aliens and alien rights, and alien amnesty, and it's actually really interesting. Supergirl
Ooh.
is not about Supergirl, it's about aliens, and about coming from another planet,
Okay.
what that looks like, what that means. It's the acting is terrible.
Okay.
I was sent to Earth when my planet Krypton was dying.
I feel like I've heard this story before.
This is my story.
I mean, it's just awful. And the way she puts her hands on her hips and stands in that way that's supposed to inspire confidence, I just don't
It's
like
not
it.
inspiring
I hate
confidence.
it. No, it's
It does when
lowering
you
my
do it, though.
confidence.
It does
But
when you do
I
it.
don't want to see it
I don't like
in
that.
her, on her.
No.
I feel more confident as I'm doing it.
See?
Me too. We're all
You
doing
know,
it right now. People know that.
puff out your chest, throw back your shoulders, lift up your head.
Everybody
I
knows.
feel
and-
it. I feel my
But
confidence.
the way
I
she
feel like an alien.
flies,
Oh.
I mean, right, because we're all aliens, and that's the
Yeah.
point. Is that it's a commentary on citizenship.
Yeah.
Right.
There's a whole season that's focused on the building of the right wing, and it's very interesting.
Ooh.
It
It's
is.
it's actually a progressive show in a crazy way.
Yeah.
But I don't appreciate the way she flies. Like, why does she constantly point her finger to the sky and like fly in that way? I don't understand why the hand must go up. Is she raising the fist in honor of our people? I don't think
No.
so.
No.
I don't know. I don't know what's happening. So that bothers me. But other than that, that's what I'm doing right now. I'm binge
I love
watching
it.
Supergirl, and
I love it.
I have shame about it a little bit because I'm like, am I turning into a 14-year-old white girl? I don't know.
No.
But I
I
will
don't think
say
it's gonna
that
happen. I think
No.
you're safe. And
I
I
do.
love
Think
the
I'm safe?
enjoyment and hate watching combination. That's
Yes,
rare.
that's
That's
what's
rare to
happening.
find, and I
Yeah.
think it's great.
Yes, I love it so much. So
Yeah.
I'm into it. I'm into Supergirl.
I feel like that about Manifest. So I'm just like, this
Oh,
is.
I know.
I
I
was like,
loved
this is
Manifest,
great,
and I
and
hated
I'm
it.
also upset.
So upset.
all the time by
Why
stuff.
am I
So,
watching this?
yes,
Why do
I'm
I
like,
love this so much?
that's
Why am
ridiculous.
I back for it again? Yeah.
Yep, exactly.
Why do I want there to be
Absolutely.
another season? Yes.
I want it. Give it to
Yeah.
me.
Yeah. Yeah. I have so I have recently not new, but more recently, I'm really excited about what's been happening with Queen Sugar.
Oh, yay.
Oh, I need to get on that. Back
Get
on
back
that.
on
Yes,
it.
I love.
Get back on
I
it.
I
love
haven't
Queen
seen it back on the
Sugar.
train.
Yeah, I had a meeting with someone a couple months ago, like a month or two ago, and they were like, they said something like, "Oh well, they did that in Queen Sugar," and I was like, "Shh, I haven't seen the most recent seasons." And they're like, "You haven't? Oh my gosh!" So I had to catch up. And
Yeah.
I'm
Right,
so
right. Don't
pleased with what
disrespect
they're
Queen
doing.
Sugar.
Right, exactly.
Oh,
I'm
Yeah.
so
so
pleased
good.
with what's
Okay,
happening.
good.
The commentary is fantastic.
In Genesis 3:19, we are dust, and dust you shall return. Amen, Brother Ernest. May you rest in peace.
But one of the things that's my favorite about it is how complicated the people are. Unlike you, like I feel like people should really embrace the fact that we are a people full of contradictions,
Yes.
That's right.
Yes.
and each one of us is going to be like, you know, having to stand up for the people, but also there's something that the people might not like, that we like, that's still also me though. Right.
Yes.
So, I really I love that about Queen Sugar. And I love that really about anything that I'm reading or watching. So
That's great.
Yes, yes, yes.
yeah.
Really great.
I love you both.
Yes.
And I am so glad to just like be awash in your glory.
Agreed. What a
We
blessing
watching
this has
too.
been, y'all.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
It's been so
Thank
fun.
you so much.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Thank you for giving us a chance to talk about each other.
Right.
Oh, yes.
I love it.
Me too.
I'm like, y'all need
I
to
love to talk
do a
about you, Malkia,
screenplay.
not me. You.
I know, but I let it talk about you though,
Okay.
you know, so it works
It
out.
does.
It's
I
perfect.
know.
It's perfect.
That was really cute.
Thanks for listening to our show. We're on Twitter and Instagram at End of the World PC. We're also on Facebook at End of the World Show.
Yeah, get the grammar right on these social media things, you know. You can make
I
a
never
sustainable
will.
donation to our show by visiting our page at patreon.com/endoftheworldshow. And merch is about to be, I just want to say merch is about to be attached to that. We have 3 different designers working on merch, and I'm going to just go ahead and say there's likely going to be unicorns and something exploding at some point in the merch. And I feel like you all should know that so you can start to feel anticipation, because we're feeling it.
Exactly. And with that anticipation, you can continue helping our show sustain itself by writing us a review on Apple Podcasts if you're an iPhone person. Thank you.
And How to Survive the End of the World is produced and edited by the marvelous Zach Rosen.
Music for today's show comes from Tunde Alaniran and Mother Cyborg.
See ya.